Hi, I wanted to talk a little bit today about some issues passed down by the ancestors that can inhibit a person's connection with their spiritual gifts as a ritualist or animist. And one of those issues that can be passed down by the ancestors is a form of almost like internal curse in the family. And this can take a couple of forms. One of the ones when I was studying with Daniel 4 that he talked about was a powerful gift that a, a bloodline carries that gets misused. And it creates so much pain and suffering that the family members sort of agree that they're just not going to use those gifts anymore. So that's kind of a form of burying, so that this gift is submerged. It's still there. It's very unconscious, but it's not being developed in a conscious way where it could really benefit other people and society. The second ancestral issue that I have found from my own healing process and from talking to other people working with their ancestors is one where it's the sort of, your ancestors were burnt at the stake kind of thing, where um, the society reacts so violently because the beliefs change that what was formerly perfectly acceptable and even valued in the community is now very painfully punished. And usually what happens in some families is that it kind of goes underground, so that one child will be picked to be sort of the designated folk healer or the designated ritualist in the family, and the tradition stays alive that way. But if the family is less healthy, or just makes a decision not to value those gifts anymore, once again, the gifts get submerged and they become unconscious gifts, and unconscious gifts can be very problematic. So that's why you can have families with very strong psychic gifts, very strong abilities to move energy or even like cause reality to change. They may have gifts to heal, and it just stays under the surface where nobody knows about it. So you have a grandmother that's very good at putting her hands around your head and healing you, but she's not a healer. She hasn't never been trained to be a healer. And finally, the sort of last version of this I was going to talk about is the kind of situation where the family decides in order to fit in, or to improve their lives, that they're going to just kind of denounce this gift and they're just going to ignore it. And so that's a situation where you may have a family that's trying to improve their social status, and they've decided that having these gifts is lower class, or somehow unacceptable to the people that they're trying to be part of. So instead of feeling like they have to bury it because they might be punished, they laugh at it. And so that sets up a situation where people have a really hard time trusting themselves because the family is very skeptical. Sometimes this happens when the families have a great deal of scientific or professional members who have professional jobs. So they think of themselves as people who don't indulge in things like, psychic gifts or whatever. Sometimes it happens in families where everyone is trying to work very hard, and they see spiritual gifts as being something that's not, that's sort of at cross purposes with hard work and getting ahead. So each of these have different kinds of ancestral karmas that can make it more challenging to strengthen your gifts. One of them, you basically have a situation where the family just is almost so traumatized they want to pretend that they don't have the gifts they have. In the second situation, the people probably know they have these gifts, but they have this idea it's too dangerous for me to use them. And in the last one, the people are probably really unconscious about their gifts, running around and feeling sort of shy or embarrassed to consciously use their gifts, while other people around them who don't have those ancestral experiences may feel more comfortable. So, what does this all sort of have to do with animism and shamanism? These are walls that actually can keep you from understanding and making sense out of the gifts that happen to you. There's other things I'll talk about next video, but I just wanted to describe these and get these ideas out there as a way of saying that as you work with your ancestors and as you start to bring the ancient well ones into your life, they have a lot of healing medicine and advice for helping to get around these gifts. And sometimes it's okay to go to a healer and learn a process for healing them, because ancestral karma is some of the most powerful. It has a lot of momentum to it. And so if you can't fix it yourself, it's okay. It's okay to reach out.